What's up, YouTube? It's NG, the Neon X, and I'm back. Today I just want to talk about something that has brought me joy in the past few weeks. The foldable phone revolution is finally beginning to gain some major traction. In the past few months, so much has happened in the foldable phone space that it is really making the general public take notice of what was once a little niche aspect of the mobile market. From the first original Galaxy Fold, to many that was the first foldable device that was readily available for the average consumer if they were willing to spend on it. It actually wasn't. There was one called the Royal Flex Pi. The claim to fame is that was the official first foldable. It wasn't very good, but from that point to where we are now, so much has happened that it really opens your eyes to where the future of mobile devices is actually going. In the past few weeks, the Surface Duo came out. It has gotten many updates. Phones like the V60 came out in April. Before that, there was the LG G8. They had the Razer 2019, or actually the Razer 2020. They had the Galaxy Z Flip. I mean, just a multitude of the devices slowly coming out, slowly taking different foldable form factors. The ones I named were the ones that were readily available in America, but in other parts of the world, they had the Huawei Mate X and the Huawei Mate XS. A Royal Flex Pi 2 came out. I think there was another one too. I can't remember the name, but these devices have begun to just kind of pop up, and they're just so interesting in all the different form factors these companies are trying to take. They're really experimenting with how they can use this foldable technology, not just to make the phones fold, but just how to make the phone itself move differently, as opposed to not moving at all. The phones today, they're just the glass slabs we're all very used to. Here we have what's this? My OnePlus 8T, I think it is. We're used to this. What we're used to, these common, regular, everyday phones, and they work. There's no doubt that they work, and we've become accustomed to how they work. But when you throw in the aspect of a foldable device into a form factor like this, it really does change how you interact with that device. And people are finally seeing what can be done with a foldable screen, or in the case of the Duo here, 2 screens. Now, all of this to say, just the past week or two, when the idea to even talk about this came to me, I was I don't remember exactly where. Oh, I went to the Apple store, and I was asked to take some pictures of the upcoming iPhone 12s for my sister-in-law. Now, of course, I was going to take these pictures regardless. When I go to the mall, I always like to check out whatever new tech is there. So it wasn't much of an issue to me. The only iPhone I had any real interest in was the iPhone mini, because iPhones just don't really do it for me. I find them quite boring. But the size of the mini, and again how they were able to fit all this high-end tech into such a small package, did pique my interest. But all of that aside, when I went there, I happened to have the Duo on me. I had the Duo, and I think I had my S20 FE. And though I use the S20 FE as my primary device, the Duo was one I had pulled out. I was taking some notes on, I think, on the iPhone, like, you know, little bullet points to talk about if I ever did decide to talk about the phone. You know, you need those things down to remind yourself of what you're seeing. And they asked me what phone the Duo was. Now, I've got that question a few times. They always think the Duo is a Galaxy Fold. This device, or actually a Galaxy Fold or Z Fold 2. Most people don't even know the Z Fold 2 is out. It's weird. They think the Z Fold 2 is the Z Fold 1. I guess if you're not in the mobile tech circle, you just don't know. But they asked me if it's a Fold, and I told them no. And they were curious as to what phone it was, because they were so amazed that it was so small, so thin, and I was writing on it like it was a notepad, like I do. And they began to ask their questions about it, who made it. And there was one guy there who recognized the phone, and he's like, "Oh, that's the Duo." I'm like, "Exactly." And then he recognized that I had my Surface Buds in. I mean, I'm not wearing them now, but you know, he told that I was more of a Microsoft guy as opposed to an Apple guy, because everyone they get and most people they see are that they have their AirPods and their iPhone. That's just what's common in America. People always have in a pair of AirPods and iPhone. So for me to be completely left of that, to stand out like that, kind of drew a small, I won't say a crowd, but maybe they were bored. But a lot of the workers started to come around and ask me about the Duo and its functionality. So of course, being the guy I am, it was all ready out. I began to demonstrate for them the pros of having a dual screen device. And yes, of course, being that I'm in an Apple store, they want to compare the iPhones to the Duo, and I couldn't compare it spec for spec. You know, as much as I like devices, I don't know all the details off the top of the head, but I could compare it functionality to functionality, efficiency to efficiency, and in almost every aspect, the Duo won. If it was that kind of comparison, I showed them how this type of device could be used for school. A lot of them were young. They seemed like they may be in college doing whatever classes they might. I said a device like this, you don't need to take your laptop. You can ink your notes. You can have it folded in a laptop posture if you wanted to. If you are at home, most classes are now being done at home, you could be on your class, your Zoom meeting on one side, while you take your notes on the other. No need to have your laptop open or your iPad open and have a separate device or pen or pad or pen and pad for your notes. I did show them how a dual screen device was more efficient than a single screen device in many ways. And one of them did joke, well, I mean, why why would you really need two screens like that? I mean, outside of you know, again, doing your work and all that. And I gave him the example of social media. Everyone is on one social media site or another at a time. But if you are really into it, how much more efficient would you be if you could flip through two? Facebook on one side, well, the young folks don't really use Facebook as much. But let's say Instagram on one side, TikTok or Snapchat on the other, or Instagram and I would assume, what's it called? Twitter on the other side. And when she heard that, she paused because she actually thought about it, saying, you know what? That could really work. Not having to close one down to go back into the other, and then close that down to go back into the other. They're both just there, updating live in front of you, and you can just go through them both as easily as you would, and as naturally as you would if it was on two separate devices. Only this is one device, but we're doing both things. And you know, when I finally left there, I saw that I had opened their eyes to something they hadn't previously thought about before. How efficient not only a folding screen, but two screens could be. But in that, behind that Apple wall, it's a singular screen no matter what device. They don't have the experience of any type of dual screen or folding screen at all. And that's how it's been the past few weeks as I've been trying to get used to various combinations of devices. I've been trying to leave the V60 at home more, and like I said, let the V60 handle that aspect of my mobile life, all the ideas and the writings and the emails and things along those lines, and it's done a great job. I can honestly say that the V60, not the V60, that the Surface Duo has pretty much fully replaced the V60 for that aspect of my mobile life. It's a shame that the Duo doesn't have a headphone jack, because I like quality sound from my mobile device. And as much as I love my Surface earbuds in most of my videos, I do have them in because you kind of forget that they're there, and I wear them quite often. Still, nothing sounds as good as when I plug in my Bang & Olufsen in-ear wired earbuds to the V60. I'm playing the exact same track. It just sounds better. I do say that's what I miss the most right now from the V60, the audio quality. Yeah, there were other parts that really had you really made you think of, like, wow, when will I really use this? But it was nice to have, like, the 8K recording. I miss not having that. I know the S20 has, I don't have the S20, the S20 FE doesn't have 8K recording, but the few videos that I did with the 8K, I personally didn't see a difference because I don't have an 8K television, so I have nowhere to actually see how detailed an 8K recording on the V60 is. So, you know, I'm always one where I like to have it and not need it, then need it and not have it. So not having the 8K as I try to transition away from the V60 does does weigh somewhat heavy on me, the 8K and the audio quality. But aside from that, and the various recording modes on the V60, because again, the Duo and the F20, and even the and even this guy right here, the other device I'm trying to get used to, the iPhone 12 mini. Yeah, that's it. The iPhone 12 mini. Even this guy right here. People don't say iPhones have much of a learning curve, but when you're coming from Android and everything on Android is set up a certain way, how you want it set, and these iPhones keep trying to make you do things the iOS way, it's bothersome. But like I said, I've been trying to distance myself from the V60 in that aspect, because I want to have the devices that I use be not useful. I want each device that I use to have its own set use. I don't want to have two devices that share a use case more than they have to. If that's the case, there's no justification to having them both. You use the one that is the better of the two, and you leave the other one. But so because I've been doing that, I've paired the Duo with, like I said, the other devices, and as I've been getting out more, whether it's going to the stores, taking the kids to school and picking them up, things along those lines, people have seen the device more, and when they question it, I'm more than happy to answer whatever questions they may have. And it's always a feeling of awe. At least that's what I feel that they have when they see it. I was at the shoe store, Foot Locker, I think it was, and I do like shoes. I'm not a sneakerhead, as many like to call it, but I was looking at some sneakers there, and I pulled out the Duo, because I had the iPhone on me, but it's still kind of, it's still not my first choice to pull out. So the Duo was being used for the most part that day, and I pulled it out. I flipped up the camera. I was taking some pictures like I do, and then you compare and contrast and all that. You show the wife, because heaven forbid you buy something she doesn't particularly like. And the guy, the salesman, said, hey yo, I saw you fold your phone. Is that that new Samsung phone? I said, oh no, this is a Surface Duo. And he said, oh, what is that? So I proceeded to explain to him what a Surface Duo was. Showed him the dual screens. I showed him the neat little trick where you can fold it over to either side to have what appears to be two separate devices. I showed him the book mode. I showed him how the camera works, and he said, "Wow, that's amazing! I've never seen that." Now, of course, they want to know how much it costs, and the price didn't seem to phase him much, because when you think about it, at the price they are going for now, that $1,200 to $1,400 range, that's just the price of a high-end iPhone. So, again, I was able to quote-unquote spread the gospel of the foldable device, but it's just that the interest seems to be there more. People aren't afraid to come up and ask, hey, what's that? Which one is that? Some people know about the Duo. Some people know about the Fold. Some people know about the Flip. And they want more information on it. Because the bar phone is, like I said, so common now. When something out of the ordinary catches their eye, something more interesting, they are beginning to veer towards that. And that's where all mobile devices are going. Just the other day, Oppo had an event where they showed you the Oppo X21, I think it's called. And it's a foldable phone. It starts up as a slab, and it can just stretch itself wider. I'll see if I can post a video somewhere here, and it can just stretch itself wider to become a tablet size. By doing this, you get rid of this little crease in the fold or foldables right in the middle. I don't know if you guys can see it because, well, there it is. Having it just unfold from a side compartment to extend the size of the screen gets rid of the crease that many who have a fold or see a fold like to complain about. It's the first thing they ask about when I happen to have the Z Fold with me. Oh, does the crease bother you? How is the crease? How is the durability? And I tell them there's nothing wrong with the crease. Nothing wrong with the durability. I've had at least my fold since day one, and I have no issues. It works better than it did then. Why? The updates and just the care that is given to it ensures that it runs at peak performance for the old device that it is. So it's actually really nice to see these new form factors and interest in these new form factors being more pronounced. TCL has a few folding phones coming. They had some demos of them earlier in the year, and from what I've read, they've moved on with actually trying to produce some of them. Now, which ones, I don't know. They had one that can unfold to stretch like the Oppo X21. I think I gotta look that up. And we already know that LG has one in the works that is supposed to come out in March. They showed that when they unveiled the LG Wing, another type of technically foldable phone. All of these phones that can change their posture in some way or another, whether it's unfold, unravel, dual screens that can open to a book or fold back on themselves. In the case of the LG Wing, the whole screen can flip to reveal a small screen on the bottom. All these new factors for phones just makes mobile devices more interesting. Just today, I saw that, who was it? One of these companies, it was something X1. Oh, the Lenovo, I think it was. Lenovo had an X1 tablet that could fold. Let's bring this up really quick. Lenovo has actually released their Lenovo ThinkPad X1. It's the world's first foldable laptop. It's the same tech as the Galaxy Fold here. The screen can fold to make it a much smaller device to use, but this is in a laptop form, and it runs a version of Windows. You can get all of your PC work done, but when you're done and you close the laptop, it folds up into a nice little neat case. Well, that's the whole device. Foldables are coming along. They're there. People are trying to use this tech to further technology, make it better for the common user, not just us tech heads or those who are really into the cutting edge. But they want this stuff to be available and easily usable to the everyday, to the common man. Right now, if I give one of these folding devices to someone, they might not know what to do. It might seem overwhelming just because the screen can open and close, and you gotta know how to multitask and bring up the windows to properly use it. All of that, they might say, you know what, put it down, go back to what I know, what I'm used to. But by all these companies bringing forth these new foldable devices and trying to push them, trying to at least get people to take notice, that really makes people begin to question how they could use that kind of tech in their everyday life. If you didn't have to carry out a heavy laptop because you had a small tablet that can unfold to the size of your laptop, and then you just add a thin keyboard, because no, we got that thin keyboard tech down. The thin keyboard is no longer an issue. Thank you, Microsoft, for bringing up that with the Surface line. But imagine that. I mean, right now the Lenovo ThinkPad X1, it is kind of thick. At least based on the picture, it seems kind of thick. I don't know how heavy it is. I've never seen one, but I saw, I think it was MKBHD, he did a quick review on one, and it looks pretty thick. But he said it was light. But imagine when that form factor becomes thinner, when the tech becomes advanced to the point where you could have it as thin as probably the Surface X, or if you haven't seen a Surface X, a iPad, the iPad Air, have it that thin, able to fold in on itself when you put it away. That's the future that we are heading towards. And then from there, who knows? I'm hoping holograms of some sort. Bring me the Star Wars 3D holographic images that just pop up from your device, or kind of just screens that just float in the air. How they would, get the light to stay in one area, I don't know. I'm not any kind of engineer like that. But for now, the foldables are where it is at. Don't let anyone tell you otherwise. From the humble beginnings of the Royal FlexPi and the original Galaxy Fold, to the Galaxy Z Fold 2 and the Mate XS and the ThinkPad X1. Folds are just coming. They're coming, and there's no stopping what is inevitable. And if folds aren't the thing for you, as in folding like a book, you have the rollable phones that are coming. They already have rollable TVs. LG has one that you can actually purchase. I don't know if you've seen it. I think they had it at one of those tech expo shows at the beginning of the year, and the TV unfolds from a what appears to be some kind of base, and it just unfolds up. When you're done, it just folds right back down. They put that tech into an upcoming phone, and it's the same folding screen, only it rolls now, because that's what it does. The screen is completely malleable, and you're able to have the screen adjust how you need it to fold, bend, twist, whatever. And as the tech becomes more advanced, we will see a lot of interesting advancements and designs in how they manipulate these screens to be used by the everyday person. It's going to be on your watch. It's going to be in your car, just screens for your dashboard that just fold around. No need to have separate interfaces. It's just boom, one long strip. That's your whole thing. I think some cars already have that. My car isn't that advanced, so not mine, but I have seen images of, perhaps they were prototypes, perhaps not. But this foldable tech is really coming to a head, and people just need to adjust to it and accept it and learn to work it into their daily life, because that's where everything is going now. In a few years, what is now the common phone will be probably laughed at, like we look back at the super large cell phones when cell phones first came out, those big bricks as they call them. They seem so outdated now because the tech has evolved. Soon these will be the outdated devices, these bars, because the foldables will be everywhere. Samsung is already working on a Galaxy Z Flip Lite, as they call it. I don't know if that will be the name, but I expect it will, just because they have all these other light devices. And I hear the price of that will be under $1,000. That's pretty good for a foldable, because most foldable phones, if you follow them at all, and if you are watching this channel, you probably do, they're over a G, easy. You get one for under $1,000 in the Z Flip Lite, if that's what they call it. That's going to open the market up. Yeah, so some might not be willing to spend over $1,000 on new technology. They might want to wait a while, let it marinate, let all of the bugs get worked out, or at least most of them, before they make that jump, especially for that price. But if you entice them with a much more agreeable price, something akin to what they'd pay for a non-foldable phone, they might just decide to give it a try. And in what, it's been 2 years, a little over, we've already got there to the point where the foldable tech, though not as durable as we'd like it to be, had begun to drop in price to where the average consumer can actually make use of it. And that's where we need it to be, so that everyone can just try this amazing tech that you and I have been in love with since we first heard that it was even coming. At least that's me. When I first heard about the Z Fold, my mind was blown. When I first heard about the Duo, I kid you not, when I saw that presentation, I cried. I just wanted to share that. I'm just really excited about where the foldable segment in mobile devices is going. I look forward to all of the new foldable tech that is coming out. I mean, I'm in no position to get a ThinkPad X1, but I wish I was. I would love to experience that for myself. The new Razer phone, the Royal Flex Pi 2, the Huawei Mate X. If I could have those, I mean, do I need them? Definitely not. But man, do I wish I could just get those in hand and do my little comparisons and see how they really work in your everyday life. Because foldables is where the mobile market is right now. I've always been a man who enjoyed mobile tech, and it's just even more exciting now. Things just keep on evolving in this space, and it really, excites me. It makes me happy to see how these things mature and transform. So I just wanted to share that. I know this rant went on kind of long, but I just wanted to share my experiences with these devices, my thoughts on these devices. Any questions, comments, curse words, feel free to leave them in the comments below. So with that said, my name is NG, the NeonX, and foldable devices. This is what I'm into.